Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul joined alongside Jack Weinberger, Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia, and Zach Bloomquist, the best executive producer in the game. We're going to do a quick Packers-Raiders reaction. Green Bay falls 17-13 to Jimmy G and the Raiders. It was a tough showing from the Green Bay offense. Now, look, I'm not going on like a victory tour or anything here. We don't want to offend too many Packers fans because they've been very generous to us. But it was a tough showing for Jordan Love, who for now 3 straight weeks really hasn't looked all that great compared to the way he looked in the beginning of the season. There's still, you still see some of those flashes of, yeah, this guy could be really good if he brings it all together. But there are some concerning signs. I thought this was a game, Green Bay, if you want to be a serious threat to make the playoffs in the NFC, this is one of those games that you kind of have to have. The Raiders aren't a very good football team. They're probably not going to be a serious threat for the AFC playoffs during the year. It felt like letting one slip away that you need to have if you want to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, this was a type of game where, I said this last night in our chat, it's not a game where if you're a Packers fan, you're going to love to see them win, but more so really dislike to see them lose. Because the Raiders are a bad football team. Like, plain and simple. They're one of the lesser teams in the AFC. This is really a game that you want to go in there, especially in front of what was most your fans in a home away from home type of game. Yep. And you want to see your young quarterback be able to win this game, especially when the Raiders only score 17 points. And again, another situation where he has the ball late with a chance to go down and do so and fail to do it. And nonetheless, in this game also threw one of the worst picks I've ever seen to Robert Spillane. So not a good showing from Love at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, like you sort of said, Jack, in this game, actually, things went pretty well around Jordan Love. The defense only gave up 17 points. The rushing game, for really the first time this season, looked acceptable, or even actually pretty good. Like, A.J. Dillon was there. Christian Watson was back and ready to play. You saw it on that 77-yard bomb. Clearly, like, Jordan Love's best play of the night. That was the kind of play, like, where you watch it and think, because this was in the third quarter before we knew how bad things were going to get. I saw that and thought, oh boy, this is like what Aaron Rodgers does, right? He rolls out to the left instead of the right, throws the ball like 50 yards downfield, and then Watson takes it in. But no, Jordan Love definitely showed a lot of mistakes. There was that good play, but he had a bad interception, a couple bad interceptions. The Spillane one was horrible. But then, even though that one was bad, the one when they were down 13-17 in the fourth quarter, ending the game, like, that was, even though it wasn't as bad a throw, that was a much more impactful play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was 3rd and 10. To be fair, I know he's trying to make a play happen. The first interception was just a horrible read. I don't know what it would have been picked off by 2 different guys.
He had another one to Spillane too.
The other 2 were forced. They just felt forced to me. Not as much a horrible read as just trying to make something happen. And that's kind of what we've been seeing the past few weeks. Is in the beginning looked very comfortable, like accurate throws across the middle of the field. Now it feels like Love's been trying to force too many things and not taking deep shots when they're there, but getting, I don't want to say greedy, but just getting a little anxious, trying to make something out of nothing. And you're right, Ziggy. This was the best we've seen the rushing attack from Green Bay against the Raiders unit that had been getting gashed all season. They're 26 in rushing yards allowed, 6th most runs of 10-plus yards given up on the season. So you finally got a little assistance there. Not that it was great, and Aaron Jones was out as well. But to go back to that Christian Watson play, that's when I thought, okay, the Green Bay's going to start to pull ahead here. I just thought they were a better team than Vegas. And that horse collar tackle, never an advocate for a dirty play, but that saved a touchdown. And Green Bay ultimately came away with a field goal on that drive instead of 7 points. Like, that's one of those plays you look back on, like, yeah, kind of a good play by the Raider defender. Yeah,
for sure. And to go back on Jordan Love here, this is now his 3rd straight game with a turnover, and we multiple in this one, which is something you don't want to see. And again, looked a lot more just panicked and uncomfortable. It's like, when someone's coming at him, he seems to make a wrong read, or like he doesn't really seem to know what to do in these last 3 weeks as opposed to what we saw earlier in the season.
Ziggy, are you a little concerned with the way Love has played over the past few weeks? Like, if you're talking to Packers fans right now, what level of concern should they have around their quarterback?
well, you're certainly not going to win a lot of games throwing for 0 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
But look, Jordan Love, you still have to sort of think of him as an early career quarterback. And things went really well at the beginning of the season, right? Things that could have gone bad. There were a lot of interception-worthy plays that didn't get intercepted. He had some deep shots that worked out pretty well. Like, things went very well for him. And now on the flip side, things are going about as bad as they could, right? So I think what you hope is that Jordan Love is learning from these sorts of things and growing and developing, because even though the start of the season was pretty exciting, I don't think Green Bay really expected to be a highly competitive team this year, looking at winning the NFC North. After those first few games, people were talking about them as a threat in the NFC. That was never really the goal. The goal was for their incredibly young offense to develop around Jordan Love. Right, there are like 3 guys playing on this offense that are over 25.
Oh, they're all kids. They're all like it's kids playing out
and
there.
Jair said it too. Is like this offense is finding its mojo. Like, it's on us right now as a defensive unit to not allow many points. While these guys,
Jair was a little salty. He said, "If we give up a touchdown, we'll lose the game."
I didn't like. Yeah, I didn't like that's that. A little. I didn't like.
No,
that,
then you can't. I get what he's going for. Right, they've lost several games this year where their defense has given up 17 points. Like, I sort of get it, but no, the offense is developing. These guys are young. It's going to take time. You just can't read too much into a couple of bad games. Every player is going to have them as they're developing.
And we talk about overreacting in football all the time on this show, whether it's to college football games or the pros. Jack and I were discussing on the way over here. Think about the Bengals. A week ago, most people were saying, oh boy, they're in serious trouble. I said that myself. Now they're sitting at 2-3.
They still are.
They might be. We'll talk about it on the full show, but just a week later, and Bengals fans have to be feeling so much more comfortable. A few stats to throw at you, Ziggy, because I know normally you'll throw some stats out at us, but for Jordan Love right now, and this is where you could be a little concerned if you're a Packer fan, and I don't want anyone to think that we're saying, like, oh, he's a failure or something like that. It's insane to say that after 5 games because the expectations weren't that high for the team, like you said, Ziggy. But when you look at adjusted completion percentage, and that takes into account like drop passes, when he's hit, when he throws, spikes, batted passes, things that would impact the completion percentage. That really should when you have completion percentage, these factors that would impact it. Jordan Love is 31st on throws within 10 yards, 31st in intermediate throws, 30th in deep throws, and last in completion percentage, adjusted completion percentage on throws behind the line of scrimmage. Some of those numbers, when you look at that, it's like he hasn't been that accurate. And Packers fans will bring up drop rate. Drop rate's 8.2%. It's higher than league average, but it's not crazy. It's not enough to impact it that much. So you're starting to see more and more statistics come out that are not good for Jordan Love in support of him. But again,
the numbers have been there since the start of the season. I know, right? It was exactly the same.
The people.
Yeah, so all I mean to say is if you didn't think they were super concerning and you just wanted to let him play and develop, which is what everyone was saying a couple of weeks ago, you have to do the same thing now. You can't let like the national media frenzy that like Jordan Love is terrible and garbage and he'll never do anything with the Packers. Just like you shouldn't have been crowning him with a golden jacket after week 2 or week 3. You shouldn't be throwing him in the dumpster fire after a couple of bad games.
Yeah, and we all of us said this on plenty of shows before the season got underway. If you're a Packers fan, it is a little bit delusional and crazy to think that you are going to win the division or even probably go to the playoffs. 7 or 8 wins is going to be a good season for Jordan Love.
Hey, look, every single game in those first 2 games, the comment section of every video is just, boy, buckle up, guys. You're going to have...
I was riding the hype, too.
They're like, buckle up. You're about to have misery. And now I'm sitting here, 3 losses in a row. Like, yeah, all right. Like, I'm buckled up. Where are we going? So I'm happy about this.
We've said, or at least I've said, that this season, if you're Green Bay, you want to see some things that Jordan Love does right. Mm-hmm. And he's done that. But to expect much is crazy. But he's shown the potential. He's shown what he can do. He's a rookie, or second year. But first year starting...
Fourth year in the league.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, but we can ignore the first 3 years, really.
It's 4th year. Wow. First year starting, but I wouldn't look too much into it.
He feels like a second year player.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, but I wouldn't. I think it's totally fine.
I'm happy to take a couple jabs back. I want to still be fair when analyzing Jordan Love, But after all the crap we got, I'm a little happy that he isn't lighting up the league. I would say at the moment, at least.
Just playing like a rookie should play, or first year starter should play.
No, and he still does things though that make me. I think he's throwing off balance a lot. He's so talented with his arm, and his arm's so strong that he can lean back and try and launch it. But you lose a lot of your accuracy when you do that, or at least most people do. So I feel like he just needs to get. We said it for weeks now. Get a little more consistent. Start having easier reads. LaFleur needs to design those schemes. And he should be fine. I'm not too concerned about Jordan Love, but yeah, am I happy he's not the next Aaron Rodgers at the moment?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I am. So you guys good? Any closing points?
No. I'm just saying, you say he's not the next Aaron Rodgers, but I'm telling you, if he gets a couple more of those like 77-yard passes on the rollout, on the move, running up to the line of scrimmage, that just brings up bad memories.
He's made some really awesome throws.
He has moments where I go, oh my God.
He's had his Spurs where he's looked great.
If he gets it together, it could be impressive, but not yet. Not yet.
Certainly not.
So we'll celebrate that while we can. All right, we will see you for the Week 6 prediction show.